It's morning here in Victoria, and before I start the day, it's beautiful, clear, crisp. I wanted to show you the mountains in the distance over the water. And by the way, that big building to the right is the Empress Hotel. Right there is Parliament. And way in the background, look at those mountains. And as we pan, you can see more and more and more of the beautiful Canadian mountains there. Isn't that a gorgeous thing to wake up to in the morning? We see more mountains off in this direction. Welcome everyone. Today finds me in Victoria, British Columbia. Victoria is a beautiful city, and it's on an island. It's on Vancouver Island. One of the strange things about this city is there are deer everywhere. Now I'm used to seeing deer back home in Wisconsin, you know, going through fields, an occasional one might pass through your backyard. But here in Victoria, the deer literally walk down the sidewalks. It's not uncommon. I've seen that several times already in the few days I've been here. They also have double-decker buses here, much like they do in London. But today we are going to Miniature World. It's right down the street from my hotel, so I've been wanting to see it. So let's go take a look. There's a great big hotel, kind of a landmark called the Empress. And I didn't even realize that this is the back side of it, because it seems like the Empress is about 3 blocks away. But apparently this is part of it. And as you can see, we're coming up on Miniature World. It proclaims itself to be the greatest little show on earth. Now I was told the first room is the space room. Oh my goodness. Will you look at this? And this really looks like you're out in space. This is an unbelievable illusion. The illusion of depth here is just incredible. And I suppose this is nothing just to give the feel that maybe you're on a spacecraft. And then you come to this. Wow. I suppose that's the community of the future. This exhibit is 1944 Normandy. Wow, look at the detail. How long does it take to build something like this? This is absolutely amazing. The smallest operating scale model turns available, and the smaller scale buildings for the background. This diorama utilizes several scales to increase the image at great distance. Over 4,000 miniature trees dot the hills, and tiny deer, sheep, and cows can be spotted on the meadows. The castle models are handcrafted and hand-painted. Each is a faithful model of the real castle, and the description of each castle is located on the castle. Now you might hear that there are descriptions going on and narrations in the background. We're certainly not going to be able to listen to most or maybe any of those because there are over 85 dioramas here. It would be a 2-hour video, but we're going to look at many of the highlights. This is far cooler already than I thought it would be. And here is the American War of Independence. Look at that. We have the Americans to the right in the blue, and we have the British to the left in the red. This is Western France, August of 1918, so we're looking at a lot of different wars here, of course, is World War I.
For the last 4 weeks, the Battle of Britain had begun. and Germany's first defeat of the Civil War.
And now we jump all the way into the early 1800s. Chelsea in June of 1815.
Less than 1,000
You feel like you can walk right into this.
air battles of all time. Every day, hundreds of German fighters and bombers would rise up from France and head for England. They would be
And look at that
by the Spitfires
lazy guy up there
of the RAF, and
having a drink.
a duel in the skies above England would ensue. Often, the beleaguered RAF pilots would land to refuel and rearm.
Germany, 1945. This is huge. This is probably 6 feet deep and maybe 7 or 8 feet wide.
The entire outcome of the war
Wow.
had been in the hands of a small group of pilots. Without them and their strength and courage, the invasion of England would have occurred in late September. The pilots, their planes, and the job they performed in those 2 months in 1940 have become legendary, and Britain will forever be indebted to those gallant few.
The gratitude of every Joseph to the British Army, who are daunted by odds, unwearied in their constant challenge and mortal danger, are turning the tide of battle violently.
And this depicts the 30-year war. So we're starting out with a lot of wars. Here once again is the Civil War. Look at there are men falling off the bridge. They're charging into the water. Horses are going down. And you can even see Johnny Reb over there on the rooftop.
Allied troops pushed southward from the beaches at Norfolk. Among them were over.
And it's not all dioramas. This is a US 12-pounder Napoleon howitzer. We're now heading into the Great Canadian Railway. It says that this display has a 30-second night sequence. So as we follow it along, you may notice that it changes from daytime into nighttime. Look at all that detail, all the lumbering that's going on, even down there to the train that's carrying all the lumber. And you can see the lumberjacks down there. Wow, tiny little saws.
Were President Donald A. Smith and Dr. Cornelius Van Horn with other warriors. The ceremony signified that Canada was now truly a country, linked from coast to coast.
I don't see any actual trains traveling along. Just occasionally you'll see a train on the track.
While the West was burgeoning, the East was booming. Toronto, connected to the Canadian Pacific by a southern spur, was fast becoming the financial stronghold of English Canada. And now with the railway at this time in history,
I should call your attention to the conveying system of the top floor of the sawmill. It's a very important function of any sawmill.
And look at that, there's a long Hardy film playing.
The mill stops on the workable floor. And we certainly know that you will enjoy the rest of your
This is the smallest operational sawmill in the world.
Elevator onto the log deck, and it's now in position for the sawyer to load it on the carriage to start sawing lumber. Where you're from, again in the wheel side.
And they had a long video presentation showing every one of these tools. And look at that. There it's cutting it into small little 2x4s. This one shows a log being split and so on. Fascinating and amazing. This is a continuation of that railroad that was going through the mountains on the other side.
these men were a tough and mixed group. Men who
Look
slaved
at that,
for
there's some
10 hours a
stockyards
day.
there.
On their time off, played just as rough. Yale, BC was the focal point for the railway for years. And each night it would resound to the roar of railwaymen letting off their steam. Huge Irish giants fleeing from the potato famine. Wiry, indestructible Chinese coolies from Peking, Shantung, and Hong Kong. Burly Russians who had helped build the Trans-Siberian Railroad. All thrown together in an effort to cross the country with a ribbon.
Here's the end of it. It's supposed to be Maritimes 1915. So much detail. Look at that wharf. You almost want to walk down there and spend a little time in one of those boats. This is called the Enchanted Valley of the Castle, and it has famous castles from all over the world. Wow, isn't that cool?
In 1939,
Down in front, it actually tells what each castle is.
horrific eras in history. The Second World War touched virtually every corner of the globe and produced one of the largest Allied military forces ever assembled. Relentlessly advanced towards the borders of Germany. The fighting was very intense.
I don't know if you caught it, but there's a little cable car going up and down there.
And even house by house.
Yeah.
In the wake of this long advance, towns were turned to rubble. In March, the Allies crossed the Rhine into the German opposition was faltering. All across Germany, units of the end in sight and just wanted the war to end. It was with all hope of winning or even retreating gone. There was no real option. There would be shocking revelations in the months and years to follow.
And here we have miniatures of the air. Really well done. You can barely see the wires that are holding them up. Now we move into Frontierland. The cowboys are riding round and round.
Then came the mountain man, who dominated the West until 1849. Population
Here we can push we want. Fort Whoop-Up, the beginning of Pioneer Town,
railroad
historic meeting, and the Buffalo Jump.
that became our modern city.
Let's start with Fort Whoop-Up.
Shadow boxes tell the incredible,
And there it is.
colorful, and never to be forgotten.
Little light is going on in Fort Whoop-Up. I guess that's the fire.
While men still mucked for gold in California, they had a different kind.
There's the startup.
Standing gold, they called it. Timber.
Way over there is the historic meeting.
Here were the masts for the China clippers. The spruce.
And I'm going to guess over there is the Buffalo Jump.
In BC.
Sure enough, look at them forcing the buffalo over the cliff.
Iron and staggering amounts of coal. And some of its most famous landmarks. Sin Savior's Church in Bartlett. The famous Caribou Stage Line. The BC Express Company in Asheville. And these were the times our grandparents had. To live in harmony with the land.
All right, there are buttons down here. I don't know what they're going to do. Oh, that one opened the gate. Okay. I see what's happening there.
They were. Their architecture perfectly suited to the environs they lived in.
So this looks like they're at a car show or something, doesn't it?
To build and decorate
Let's see what this button over here does.
were among the top woodworkers
There's one down here.
at that time. Their war
Can you? Oh, it's making that car run back and forth.
craft that Captain Cook and George Vancouver had ever.
Let's try that one again.
They lived in harmony with the sea and the forest.
There it goes.
A unique cultural heritage blended with colorful names to many.
I'm willing to bet this one's going to move the red car.
We have the three-dimensional pictures in miniature. The shadow boxes.
There we go.
Detailed miniature works of art in three dimensions. Change
The button's way over here, but it affects way over there. Watch it make the cars go around.
have such an impact as in the American West. Because steam brought the steam locomotive and the age of the railroad, bringing industry and commerce.
Okay, you see the fish down there? This button makes the fish go.
After a 3-month flagging trip, across the differential range.
Some of these are pretty subtle changes. I'm pushing a button here and I don't see what's happening. Let's try another one here, see if we can catch. Okay, what this does is it turns on the movie screen there. You see that? It's pretty much fun. And here's some more Frontier Village. And this is a full wall diorama of different types of buildings from the old frontier. And now we're moving into Fantasyland. And it starts with a little phone booth. I just saw a little kid in here a moment ago. I don't know what happens. I guess you can hear songs playing on the phone.
rock. What else?
Oh, it's Santa's workshop. Look at all the elves and the reindeer. There's deer everywhere.
Depicting Jonathan Swift's immortal tale of
So that's what it looks like, everyone.
unfortunate seaman.
Oh, look who I see over here.
Only to wake up and find
I
himself
think
tied
that
to
is
1,000
Rudolph.
tiny ropes in the land of Lilliput, surrounded by the Lilliputians. You could say that Lilliput was the original miniature world. And look how cleverly they've tied even his hair to the ground. Now we come
So
to
this
the
is
huge
Gulliver's
diagram
Travels,
of the
and this
10
is
pallets,
Lilliput.
actually measuring 8 feet by 10 feet. and
Kind of the original miniature world.
The ultimate craftsmanship in miniature creations. It's a
The old woman in the shoe.
Just you spend a while looking over this magnificent diorama.
There she is.
Notice the detailing of the big
She's spanking one of her boys. And this is Jack and the Beanstalk. See Jack there? No, I think that's the giant coming down. I don't suppose that's Jack. Jack is probably chopping down the beanstalk back there.
Is the combination
Smell
of
the
years
blood
painstaking
of
work,
an Englishman.
the variety of characters.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. And down here, a couple of skunks are coming to visit.
Best love fairy tale.
And you can see a lot of the dwarves. There's a tortoise there with a flower on its back. There's their mine.
Cutaway view. We actually get to see just where
And there's a few deer that are coming up to visit Snow.
to make this many beds every morning. Remember, they lived in the heel of the shoe, rent-free. The other 300.
Oh, goodness gracious. This is, I don't know, 6 or 7 feet tall. Absolutely incredible.
Allowed to treat everyone in a slice of ordinary control. Once upon a time, a beautiful, colorful collection of the best love Christmas regards. How many adore
I suppose this is Wizard of Oz, maybe?
There's Jack.
I see a
Little Bo Peep with her sheep, and so many
I see a witch flying overhead.
that you find for yourself.
Oh no, a Titania's Palace from A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Here we have a privileged look at a section of the world's very secret diamond mine. It's this man hard work, just like working jewels way down to blue rock. Their own special railway. What else?
This place goes on and on. I'm going to have one heck of a time editing this video because there's so much stuff here.
Soon to include one into Hudson's Bay. Is the Hudson's Bay Company catch nonsense?
This reminds me a little bit of Peter Pan at Magic Kingdom as you look down on London.
In that exciting turmoil, many of the world's foremost English literary Daniel Defoe, best known today for his Robinson Crusoe stories, was a teenager. Jonathan Swift, creator of the Miel Gulliver and all his fascinating travels to Lilliput and beyond, was a mere baby. For information on the happenings of that day, was writing his speech in London in 1660.
And here is more modern London. Looks like it's about the 1950s, 1960s maybe.
Oliver Cromwell had bestowed upon himself 10 years before with obscene. A more relaxed, tolerant attitude was to develop, especially in the arts. The king proved to be easygoing.
This represents a gold rush pioneer church from the turn of the century. That's interesting the way they cut out the roof so you can see all the parishioners inside. Says this is the Amstel Hotel entrance hall. Let's see what happens. I like that this is interactive. You can turn on lights and make things move. That really adds to the enjoyment. He's sneaking a kiss, thinking he's going to give his gal some flowers. But his horse has another idea. And that old dog is looking and laughing. He knows what's happening. And here's what's going on behind that old cowboy. You can see all the rooms inside, including the staircase going right down the middle.
Years of collecting, of research and study, 3 years of construction work.
Here's the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. All right, let's see what these things do. Well, that just seemed to make noise. There's buttons down there, but I can't see what they're doing. Oh, it's to hear sounds from the jungle.
What does it take to build an enchanted doghouse? Time and patience. Circuses.
This is absolutely astounding. This is called the Enchanted Dollhouse, and it's bigger than me.
In places like Scotland, South Africa, England, Boston, and New York.
I can't even get the whole thing in my frame.
They sought out all.
That's how big it is.
The furniture was made by Don Ray himself. Just the right material.
This is Tudor Manor. It's supposed to represent turn of the century Victoria. The interesting thing is how you can move right in and peek in the windows. You almost feel like you shouldn't be spying on these people. I know it's called Miniature World, but the size of these things is so impressive. These are 6 and 7 feet long, and you can peek right in the windows at the residence.
There's the music room, complete with harp and violins, all hand-carved, of course. The king's bedroom, queen's bedroom, both fully furnished with those magnificent canopy beds and their respective washrooms. There's the queen and king themselves, talking to guests in the receiving line inside the banquet hall. On the walls around the room, famous oil paintings of the period. The children played in the nursery, under the watchful eye of the family nanny, who had her own bedroom and sitting room. Keeping the children neat and tidy was the task of the household's two most.
Here's the backside of that giant dollhouse. This is so impressive. I think I could stare at this for an hour and not run out of things to see.
After entering or being entertained, the man, or drawing man, was like a shortly simple woman. A little worried and some obviously a little nervous. She's come to apply for a job. Not far away is the wine cellar and the stock room. The stockroom was naturally cool because it was below ground level. No refrigeration in those days. Beans, corn, wheat, barley, and meat were all bought in bulk. Meat was hung from the rafters. Oh, and a laundry room. A blazing fire was built in the big copper.
And you can pull that carriage right outside.
Wooden ladle and suds with homemade soap. The clothes were then put through the mango, the forerunner of today's wringer. Upstairs, each room had a purpose. There are no windows. A long dead ancestor comes to life.
Here's the world of Dickens.
Which was built for the Queen's
First we see Oliver Twist.
All the furniture in the Queen's
I'm not sure where Oliver is, but I'm thinking that might be the Artful Dodger. Who knows?
Chairs, tables,
Your guess is as good as mine.
studied carefully in order to reproduce the aspect.
And right next door we see Nicholas Nickleby.
3 years of construction. Work that still goes on because the ancient buildings is still full. That's what it's taken to build the furniture. More than 35 years to see it.
Here's the carousel, and behind me they show how each one of these horses was hand carved. So it starts with cutting out the pieces, probably on a bandsaw, and then hand carving, shaping, and sanding them until it gets into the shape that you want. Look at how it did the head. They drew the design, started to carve it out. Amazing work of art. I see another button. Now let's see if we can get the merry-go-round to work. Circus World. We've been to the real Circus World in River, Wisconsin. Now we get to see it in miniature. I don't know where this is. This is not Wisconsin. It says this is a winter headquarters in Florida. So there we go.
The circus is finally in town. The posters have been up on the walls.
This is Middle America. I suppose it's while the circus train is traveling. You can see it down there. And I don't know if this is supposed to represent a real city or just a generic city, with the Circus Museum heading right down the center of town.
Only a few rides have been invented. Merry-go-round and giant swings. The tilt-a-whirl, flip, and caterpillar are just a few of
Here's a sideshow. You see they have Chang and Eng Bunker, the Siamese twins, Professor Pyro. And they have a fat lady, a giant man, Mandrake the magician.
skill-testing games. And the Sharp Midway game operators. Another standard attraction of the Midway was the sideshow or back-end show. These were the exhibitions claiming extraordinary feats. People paid to see if such things could be possible. Well, folks, you pays your money, you takes your chances. The Midway, a little tamer these days, but just as much of a thrill for the whole family. However, if wild is what you want, just move on to the next scene.
Here's a Wild West show.
The adventure and spirit of pioneers from the Old West has a mighty strong appeal. Strong enough to build a stupendous and all-overshadowing Wild West show? You bet. Probably the most memorable was Buffalo Bill's Wild West Show. His exploits and success earned him the nickname Buffalo Bill. His famous Wild West show toured all over the U.S. and Europe. It was a Wild West life. Indians followed the wagons with war whoops and guns a-blazing. Just as all seems lost, to the rescue came the hero of the show.
Looks to me like it's going backwards.
Justice to all. Many Wild West shows continue.
Oh, maybe it's going to start again.
In 1917.
And here the police caught a convict. He must have been trying to get away.
Industry settles in and establishes itself as an important component in the building.
We're half a continent away, but all of these wagons you saw in my Circus World Museum video. We saw them live and in person.
Pictures on the way out.
Well, this isn't a miniature. This is almost as big as me. Let's see Arthur pull the Excalibur from the stone. There he goes. He's now the king. And there in the corner looking on, we see Merlin. They say this is it. I ain't buying it. And this is the whole story of King Arthur. Oh, look at that. When I pushed that button, it opened the secret entrance to Merlin's world in a big old trunk.
As the sun sets on both the great battle
Here we're supposed to see glimpses into the future.
or Camelot.
I see something happening in the back. I see the crystal ball is starting to glimmer. Oh, there we see some glimpses into the future along the back wall. Look at that.
And a young king
Here we're supposed to see dragons keeping vigil over their lair.
called Camelot.
That one's moving.
In the
Oh,
centuries
is this
since,
one?
there have been varying interpretations of the legend, but most have had one thing in common. Arthur and Camelot.
We're supposed to see Excalibur rise from the watery depths of Arthur
The
Lake.
king of all Britain. Knights had come
Oh,
from
there it's
far and
happening.
wide to claim their rightful
Over
place
there.
as king, only to fail. For many years, it remained deeply embedded in the stone. Then one day, a young squire grasped the sword and withdrew it with ease.
And you know what this is. The Knights of the Round Table.
King Arthur. In the shadows of the village church, the sorcerer Merlin looked on.
And as grand as that looks, I kind of suspect that there might be some bad business going on down here. Because this guy, the protector of the lances, was not able to join the Knights of the Round Table. There is not a seat for him. They're ready to joust.
Take this sword. It will protect you.
This is Lancelot and Guinevere.
Life is at an end. You must return it to me.
And here is a real joust match. Very pretty, isn't it? Very colorful.
But he was no match for Sir Mador. As he was reluctantly about to begin the joust, an unknown knight appeared and took his place. Across the river in the farmland and villages, crops were grown and harvested. A water wheel mule ground the harvest grain.
Now this is the Kingdom of Camelot, and we're supposed to see other things happening. I think I can see the water wheel turn. If I push this button, there it goes. See that water wheel there? I did that. I made that happen. Okay, let's see that gate close. I did that.
Unscathed by the coming conflagration.
Back at the castle in Camelot, Arthur has convened a meeting of his most.
Let's see if I can raise the drawbridge.
Of Camelot, one of Uther's long-standing allies.
There it goes.
De Grasse was Guinevere's father, and upon her marriage to Arthur, the Round Table became his.
Now watch the flags.
As the
There they
stories
go.
of the great king and his kingdom traveled far and wide, he had never been defeated.
Now I'm going to make that oxen plow the field.
During Camelot, he came upon a narrow stone bridge.
Look how much power I have. I can rule all of Camelot.
But there was only room for one.
And here is the Holy Grail. I always wonder what it looked like. There you have it.
Lancelot would become Arthur's most trusted and capable knight. Arthur would invite him to, and they began an illicit affair.
Here's supposed to be the death of Arthur.
They went unnoticed by most, including Arthur, for some time. However, Merlin
So you can see he turns his head when I push the button.
others were soon to suspect him.
And Excalibur has his name on it. It says Arthur.
Lancelot would flee the kingdom.
That was a fun visit. I particularly enjoyed the end where they narrated the story of King Arthur and Camelot, and then you could follow along as you looked at the miniatures. I hope you enjoyed our visit to Miniature World in Victoria, British Columbia. As always, I encourage you to like and share the videos. Please give me a thumbs up, leave your comments down below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark with the Average Beachhead.